Hello, I'm Elizabeth Stout. I am currently 20 and I am a junior at Allen College studying biology, music, and public health. And I also work for the state of Michigan through the Children's Special Healthcare Services. They use me for a couple of their different projects, including on telehealth.
Hi, my name is Jacob Bush. I'm 21 years old. I am currently going to school for IT at MCTI. I currently work at JBS, which is a food processing plant. I work in the food department. While I'm not at school or I'm working, I like to do volunteer work, or I like to talk about I like to pretty much do self-advocacy for people with disabilities, and I have attended many lectures at the state to try to learn more, and overall I do my best to make sure peoples who do not have a voice get their voices heard.
Thanks for the mic, Dr. Turner. Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? Hey Jake.
Hey Sean, how you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. So just kind of for this session, guys, don't feel free. There might be some repetition from our last session that we had. And you know, when I walked away from it, I'm like, oh, I should have asked this or I should have asked that. And maybe you guys wanted to add a little bit to that. So I'll just kind of walk through this and kind of how we started last time. And, you know, what is your experiences with telehealth?
Well, I personally have only had the one telehealth appointment, and that was with my epileptologist. And this was just a routine appointment that originally was going to be in person, but then we had to make that switch. But the main thing that I have experience with is through my job as a member of the Young Adult Advisory Panel with the AAP's telehealth project going on currently. So there's about 15 of us that get together and then have discussions about our experiences, and then how that can be helpful for other people in terms of spreading the information about from the perspective of the patients, what it's like, good parts, bad parts, what to work on.
Yeah, cool. And Jake, your experiences with telehealth?
So yeah, I use telehealth to communicate with my doctor, who is in Cleveland, and he specializes in genetic mutations, more so mine, which is primary carnitine deficiency disorder. And I have also used my therapist at one point for telehealth when COVID first hit. And overall, I've been using telehealth to kind of communicate back and forth between my doctor, as driving 6 hours back and forth is very physically exhausting, as anyone can imagine. So I use telehealth for that option, and it's gone pretty well since then.
Well, that's great. That's a long drive, definitely. So
Yeah.
I guess for a question for you guys both, what has been the benefits of telehealth for you guys? I know there's you know, some deficits, and we'll get to that, but first and foremost, like, what is the benefits that you guys see?
Definitely for me, a big one has been time, because it's not quite as much as Jake, but especially during college time when I have to devote essentially a whole day for a doctor's appointment, from driving from school over to U of M, having the appointment, coming back, and missing multiple classes. It's challenging for a relatively short appointment to be missing that much time, versus how it's just, you spend like 5 minutes getting ready for a telehealth appointment, and then you're there, which is definitely very helpful. And especially since my parents don't have to do anything either. And the other big thing for me is a sense of independence, because since you can be sitting at your computer all by yourself, and even if you're not driving there and doing everything independently, the same as if it was a regular visit, it's still more of a sense of doing it on your own.
So would you say that telehealth has helped for that independence, and has there been examples where it kind of has taken away from that independence that you talk about?
I personally have not had it take away, because how like I set up everything for the telehealth visit. Most of the time it was just me sitting there versus my parents going with me, and feeling like I didn't need as much assistance to, partially because of preparing ahead of time. That was one of the other things that I've found helpful is it's kind of something that we've actually also talked about in my groups before, is that it helps if the patients beforehand know what you're going to discuss, because then you can really get the sense of independence if you actually are all planned out for what you need to be there to say, so that there isn't the same sense of needing to necessarily turn to your parents and say, I'm not sure, Mom, Dad, do you know, sort of a thing, so that you can be preparing for when you have to do it all on your own in the future.
No, thank you. That's great insight. Jake, do you have anything to add to that? Like, what has been the benefits, from your end for telehealth, for sure?
Yeah, just adding on to what Elizabeth said, pretty much just I was already missing a bunch of school anyway before I really got my diagnosis. So combined it with the 6-hour, drives and how much time and money and all that it would cost, gas, hotel rooms, you name it. It was just very exhausting, especially when you have such a physical limit to how much you can deal with day on and day on. But telehealth has definitely closed that gap by a significant amount. I wouldn't even call it a significant amount, like an instant amount, because it's like, instead of getting ready at 6 a.m. to drive to Cleveland, I can wake up at any time, like 30 minutes prior, and then talk, because usually the appointments would take about like 10 minutes most of the time. There is some times where I'd have to go get labs done, but that was every once in a blue moon. When I went there the 20 couple times I've been there. So, but most of the time it was like a 10-minute like checkup. How you doing? How's things? You doing good? Yep. And then that was pretty much the end of the conversation, because and it's just good now that I can do that over telehealth instead of having to drive 6 hours to be told the same thing. Yeah, take your pills, exercise every now and then, blah blah blah, just to get that out of the way and continue on. What else? Yeah, and also like it does increase the independence a lot. Like being able to talk to your doctor is a huge adult step. Like it's a huge step into adulthood, to talk with your doctor, and telehealth makes that so much better, because I may be 21, but I'm still not very comfortable with driving 6 hours to Cleveland. So just to have that ability to just, turn on a camera and be like, hello, I would like to talk about a couple things real quick.